Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Gonitai Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jayam Vishnupada Purman Sulukhrajagacharya Shrutar Sadasi Simasula Bhaicharna Binda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Binda ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Gurunita Bhagavan ki jai, Radha Shyama Sundar ki jai, Krishna Balaram ji ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Binda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Das Thakur ki jai, Prem se gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda ki jai. Jai Gaur Brahmanande, Hari Hari Bol, all glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Putale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschat Deshatharini Vancha Kalpatar Vishrikipa Sindhavaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayat Nasta Prayasa Bhadreshu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Bhagankarati Vachalam Pangulangayategi Jatkripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatari Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So today we are going to recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 30. The sloka began with like this. Jo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere, sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Jo whoever mam me pashyati sees sarvatra everywhere, sarvam everything, cha and moi in me pashyati he sees, tasya his, aham I, no not, pranashyami I am lost, cha he, cha also, me to me, no not, pranashyati is lost. So this is the first verse of Bhagavan realization beginning from this. Krishna is talking about perfection of yoga. The word yoga means connecting with absolute. So Srila Prabhupada keeps talking about perfection in Krishna consciousness, which automatically include this level of perfection. This level of perfection, so now he will talk in the verse directly about himself. Till now, up till 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, you don't hear Krishna actually talking directly about him. He talks about the soul, he talks about action, reaction, inaction, but he does not talk so much about him. This is the first verse actually, Bhagavad Gita began about himself. The previous to this, Krishna talks about super soul. And previous to that, 28 was Brahman realization. But this verse directly he's speaking about him. Bhagavan realization. So this is chapter 6. Those who are, I'm sorry, we started little early today, Mother Subhadra and Mother Neha, because I have another class. So I appreciate you joining. I know this is a little weird time. We generally used to start 1 hour at 6:30 to 7:30. We would have more people join. But unfortunately, I have another class at 7 that I have to join. I don't have a choice because it's by the GBCs. So we are starting for at least few months, 5:30 to 6:30. So I appreciate you all are coming. Whoever has the time, most of them work. So we are beginning today, chapter 6, text 30. So I mentioned something about this sloka. This is the first sloka. Krishna talks about Bhagavan realization. Literally, this is the first verse. Krishna actually talks about Bhagavan realization. So he begins with, very interesting, he says, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. This is very nice, very caring, loving. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Would any one of you would like to read the purport, what Prabhupada wrote? Mother Neha or Mother Subhadra? If you have Bhagavad Gita, otherwise I'll just read, continue. Purport by His Divine Grace. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestation of the material nature, but in each and every instance, he is conscious of Krishna. Knowing that everything is the manifestation of Krishna's energy, nothing can exist without Krishna. Krishna is the Lord of everything, and this is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. So this is interesting. Interesting in the sense that nothing exists separately from Krishna. So what about this material nature, this world, America? Material nature or the marginal nature, the soul, or the internal potency, they all actually have no separate existence than Krishna. So theoretically, at least, we should start connecting those links, that nothing exists without Krishna. Everything within his body, at the same time, he also can exist separately from his energy to reciprocate. So in one sense, everything is within Krishna, but Krishna also can be outside of everything. So he could reciprocate. This is inconceivable to us because we don't act that way. But we have some idea, like a person who is the president of the country, he also has a personal family. So the personal family member can relate to him as their dad, husband, or son, whatever relationship president has. But when he is in the office, or even he's in the family, still he is also the number one administrator of the whole country, president. So some idea we have. Krishna is little more than that, because nothing can exist separately from Krishna, but people can exist separately with their idea and other than president. So it's not, but some idea we have. Then Prabhupada writes, Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. It is the stage beyond self-realization at which the devotee becomes one with Krishna, in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee. And the devotee becomes full in love, loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity attains his immortality. Interesting. So Prabhupada is saying very interestingly that more we focus on our relationship, even day to day, whatever we are doing, still we can relate that we have a relationship with Krishna. He is in my heart. I may not be perceiving or seeing with this mundane eye, but I can have my faith on it. So at least some way we can focus on that. And more we focus, more we spend little more time. It will not intervene in between our work or job or whatever we are doing. We just have to be little aware, that's all. Then eventually we will see that we are with Krishna. Then Prabhupada writes, nor is the personality Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. That's nice. So in other words, when you think of Krishna, Krishna is also with you. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana charita bhakti vilochanena Santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti Jam Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Sarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotees whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shama Sundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of yogi, who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. So let's discuss this interesting verse. This is a Bhagavan realization. How can we grasp little more? So I'm going to break down the Sanskrit word. Jomam pashyati sarvatra. Jomam pashyati sarvatra means one who sees Krishna in everywhere. In a sense, it's not like you're going to see Krishna as a blue boy or blue color boy in everywhere, like in your wall, in the house, in your car, on the lawn, or on the window. Not exactly like that. It means how everything is connected. Just like Prabhupada saw the painting and he was staring at it. And devotees were surprised. Why Prabhupada staring? Prabhupada said, Krishna is so wonderful. He gave this painter such intelligence that he could paint beautiful paintings. So this is the relationship we have to look for. That means we have to be familiar how Krishna is everywhere. We have to see the connection. It's not visible. Just like the thread holding the garland, a flower garland. When you look at the flower garland, you don't see the thread. Unless you come very close and move the flower, you see in between there is a thread holding all the flowers, making it as a garland. And Krishna is that thread. So we need to first find how everything is connected with him. That's require little awareness, how Krishna is connected. When you see a beautiful flower, 7th chapter Krishna says that how he is that wonderful, astonishing. 10th chapter, 41 verse, Krishna says, anything you see, wow, immediately think of me. Anything. Even you see a beautiful person, a beautiful girl, a handsome boy, whatever, and you see beautiful house. Wow, that's Krishna. But not necessarily the house is Krishna or the flower or the mountain is Krishna, but how Krishna says that nothing exists separately from him. Everything is connected with him. That's how you have to see. So Krishna using here the word, Krishna says, pranashyati, in a famous word. Kunte he jani priti jnati name bhakta pranashyati. So Sri Krishna has also used the word pranashyati in earlier verse also. When he said buddhi nashat pranashyati, pranashyati can be referred fall or lost. Destruction. So in intelligence, how somebody falls down to material level or material existence, when intelligence is lost. What is intelligence? Discriminating power. You cannot find reason and logic of everything that how this is connected with Krishna. You cannot find the reason. That means intelligence is lost. How do you keep intelligence alert, intelligence wake? You have to feed and take care intelligence. Just like you take care of a baby, then baby will naturally grow. You don't have to command the baby to grow. If you have a natural food, natural environment, baby will grow automatically. Similarly, intelligence will also grow if you take care of the intelligence. And taking care of intelligence means every day we have to understand this philosophy and hear. More we hear and understand, the intelligence is wake, and then we can connect with Krishna. So if we perceive Krishna, we are connected to Krishna everywhere, even if we are in this material world. So actually this can be understood various levels. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, see Krishna everywhere, and same by the gopis, they also say. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will see ordinary mountain and he thinks, oh, Govardhan is the origin. What is Govardhan? What is Giriraj Govardhan means? Giriraj Govardhan means the origin, the deep and height of the feeling Krishna had for Radharani. So Radharani asked Krishna, just at this moment, can you expose how deep you have a feeling for me? So Krishna touched his heart, pulled out a seed, immediately started growing that, and then became a big mountain. Krishna had to stop. So that was the origin of Govardhan. So when Mahaprabhu would see a mountain, he would remember that connection, that originally there was no mountain. All mountains started from that feeling. How much feeling the Lord has for his beloved? That was the origin of Govardhan. That's how all the mountain. So when Mahaprabhu would see a mountain, he would immediately think of Govardhan, the feeling the Lord has for his beloved. This is how we have to connect everything, anything and everything in this world. Then you may say, well, somebody at the working place, how are you going to work if you think like that? No, you can work very well, very well. I know a sannyasi told me very interestingly that when he was in his job many years back, he was a police officer, and he was so much into chanting that he completely forgot about going to work. Now, I'm not promoting laziness. I hope you don't misunderstand me. But I'm saying this, he was really like trying to advance very quick. And at one point that he completely absorbed, and then he completely lost connection of the time. And he was just chanting. The next day, he felt bad. Oh my God, did I go? No, I didn't go. So next day when he went to work, the officer said that, or the sheriff said, oh, the job you did was wonderful yesterday. And he was a little dumbstruck. Like he wanted to say, but he didn't say anything. He said, did I really come to work? But anyway, it went on for a while, and later on, he became completely like absorbed, and he became a preacher, and then gave up everything. Not in a sense gave up everything in a wrong sense, gave up to increase the devotion. So this is required. Not that everybody will take sannyas or anything. That's not what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying that whatever you do, wherever you are, try to see my connection there. Then that's how you'll see Krishna. So someone asked Srila Prabhupada, how can we see Krishna everywhere? Srila Prabhupada said, when everything reminds us of Krishna, just like when mother loves a child, whatever mother sees, she sees a little shoes, Prabhupada says, little shoes of the baby. She is so much in love with the baby. So Prabhupada said, she's not seeing the shoes, even though she's holding the shoes, but she's actually seeing the baby. So this is a wonderful example Prabhupada gave. That's how we have to develop the connection. Before we see Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, before we enter to that domain, Shuddha Sattva, like Prabhupada was in Shuddha Sattva. He was in New York, but he was in Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. And all the majority people are in 3 modes, but Prabhupada was above 3 modes, but he was walking just one of us. So like that, we can remain within this body and be completely free from the modes. So that's why that example, The whatever mother sees connected to child, she remembers the child. This is the child's shoes. This is how my child talks. That's how my child toys. Whatever she sees, because there is a, so what is the what is the key point in this? Key point is that the mother has a underlining perception or teaching or any sense object. She has a feeling, affection for that child. That is the main point. Because she has a affection, she is connecting everything child connected, is seeing the child. So similarly, we have to awaken that feeling. Awaken feeling will not all of a sudden like, okay, I became now God conscious. Not like that. You have to endeavor. You have to make a decision. Your intention has to be there. And also you have to start drawing the emotion and Krishna's reciprocation. This combine our intention, our endeavor, our decision, emotion, then Krishna's reciprocation. This will unite and then we will be fully Krishna conscious. So Krishna says here, Jomam Sarvati Pashyata Sarvam Chamoi Pashyati. In a most exalted stage, there can be multiple levels. Now, in an abstract, theoretical sense, when I see the sky, when I see the mountain, when I see river, I can think that all these are Bhumi, Apa, Anala, Vayu. They are the material elements that everybody can see. You don't have to become devotee to see that. Even an ordinary logician who knows the philosophy that everything is made of these 5 elements, material elements, what is composed of, they can start seeing it. Yeah, mountain is made of earth, air, water, fire, everything is there. So that's one level. All these, then when you claim or you say you are a devotee, means Krishna says 7.4, Krishna says Bhumi Apa Analo Vayu Kammana Buddhire Vacha Ahankaram Itiyam Me Bhinna Prakrita Astada. So when you claim as a devotee or you think you are a devotee, means you connect that connection. Okay, Krishna claims this earth, air, water, fire. So I'm seeing the mountain is made of earth, air, water, fire. Okay, that's Krishna. Krishna's energy. So go another, this is a one level. Gopis are at far deeper level of Krishna consciousness. Because when Krishna left them, whatever they see, they will see in connection with Krishna. They will see deer, they will ask some other living being, some animals, have you seen Krishna? In Gopi Gita, we see that when Krishna left, before Gopi Gita, that all these millions of gopis, they are asking the trees, animals, everywhere. And they literally find the relationship. When they found Tulasi, they are asking, have you seen Nanda Maharaj's son? Did he come this way? And then they are giving a counter logic. Oh, no, you're not going to tell us because you are wife of Krishna. So they know the philosophy too, that Brindadevi, Tulsi Maharani married to Krishna, Vishnu. So they know deep philosophy also. They may not express that at that time, but they do mention that. So this way they found everything has some connection with Krishna. Then they will, they literally search the whole forest. And when they finally searched and searched and searched, then Gopi demonstrated level of Jomam Pashyati Sarva. They see Krishna everywhere, and whatever they will see, they will think, oh, is Krishna's sound. This is Krishna's sound. So then Krishna will go out, and even though Krishna is not there, they are thinking Krishna all the time. This is called, this verse 6.30, Jomam Pashyati Sarvatra. So Krishna told to Uddhava that separation from me is impossible. The gopis were separated from Krishna, isn't they were? They were separated from Krishna's form. But Sri Krishna is within their heart. And everything and everywhere they are seeing in connection to Krishna. So try to grasp that how Gopi felt separation, but then Krishna told to Uddhava that separation from me is impossible. So how did Gopi felt separation? Krishna is in their heart, and Krishna is in every atom. Krishna is everywhere. Everywhere they are seeing, first their connection with Krishna developed. That is very exalted position. That's why Prabhupada put that verse in the purport, if you look at it. Premanjana charita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Jamsema sundaram achinta guna sarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Premanjana, Anjana is like a ointment, little mascara. Amrita, Anjana, which people apply at head. When someone is having eye disease, in India I saw the eyes are burning, people will not able to see clearly. So Anjana will cool the eye. I saw in the village they do that. Cleanses the eye, heals the eye, they say. So when it is applied, the person can see that clearly. So like that, currently our eyes are diseased. They are diseased by material desire. Because of that, we can see only material things right now. But when you see the connection, your eyes level changed, your vision changed. So Premanjana is the ointment. This is important. Vilochanena, when we apply ointment of love, so it is interesting ointment of prema, we quote this verse. But this verse is profound. First the verse says bhakti vilochanena, then premanjana. Very interesting the way if you look at it. So the eyes of devotion and the ointment of love. So we all can say that I also have eyes of devotion. I am trying to practice devotional service. When I look at Krishna, I say he is my Lord. And I wanted to offer my whole life to this Lord. So we can say that we have bhakti vilochanena. Bhakti is a stage of progression. There are 9 stages in bhakti, you all know. Final stage is this progression is prema. So we have to devotionalize, and not only devotionalize, we should have loving disposition. So when we have both, that means we go through process of devotional advancement and come to the level of prema, love of Godhead. Then this is the vision we get. Santa Sadaiva, saintly people, always what? Hridayeshu vilokayanti. They see within the heart vilochanena. What they see? Jam Shema Sundaram Achinta Guna Sarupam. They see Shema Sundara. Achinta Guna Sarupam. They see Shema Sundara in the heart of all living entity, in everyone's heart. And they see inconceivable quality and form of Shema Sundara, that Lord who is revealed through love, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I pay my obeisances to that Govinda who is Adi Purusha. So let us do text 31. Would somebody like to read? Any one of you? 6th chapter 31. No? Okay. Then I'll read. Sarva bhuta stitam jo mam bhajati ekatam astitaha sarvata vartamanapi sajogi mayi vartate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The yogi who knows that I and the super soul within all creatures are one, worships me and remain always in me in all circumstances. This is a very interesting, very fascinating verse. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada writes, yogi who is practicing meditation of the super soul sees within himself the plenary portion of Krishna as Vishnu, with 4 hands holding conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus flower. The yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna. Krishna in this form of super soul is situated in everyone's heart. Furthermore, there is a non-difference between the innumerable super soul present in the innumerable hearts of living entity. Nor is there a difference between a Krishna conscious person always engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna and perfect yogi engaged in meditation on the super soul. The yogi in Krishna consciousness, even though he may be engaged in various activities, where in material existence remain always situated in Krishna. This is confirmed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The Rupa Goswami, Nikhileshu avastasu jivan mukta sauchate. A devotee of the Lord, always acting in Krishna consciousness, is automatically liberated. In Narada Pancharatra, this is confirmed in this way. Dik kaladi anvachanne krishne cheta vidayacha tanmaya bhavati ksipram jiva brahmani joyayat. By concentrating one's attention on the transcendental form of Krishna, who is all-pervading and beyond time and space, one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna, then attain the happy states of transcendental association with him. Krishna consciousness is the highest stage of trance in yoga practice. This very understanding that Krishna is present as Paramatma in everyone's heart makes the yogi faultless. The Vedas confirm this inconceivable potency of the Lord as follows. Ekapi san bahuda jo vibhati aishajat rupam ekam chasurjavat bahudhate. Vishnu is one, and yet he is certainly all-pervading. By his inconceivable potency, in spite of his own form, he is present everywhere. As the sun, he appears in many places at once. So let's discuss this for 1 minute. Here Krishna says in 29 verse, if we remember, last week we did, a true yogi, they observe Krishna in all beings, also sees every being in him. Indeed, a self-realized person sees Krishna, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. Now in 6:30, Krishna says, for one who sees me everywhere, sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Now here Krishna is mentioning, very interestingly, talking about 2 different seekers, having 2 different visions. So if there is any confusion, Sri Krishna will make it very clear. And if you look at the next verse, on this verse, it's very clearly Krishna defined what is the difference between these two. So let's see. The verse says, Sarva Bhuta Stitam Joma, the living entity who is situated in all Sarva Bhuta Stita. And Mam here refers, Bhajanti Ekattam Astitaha. One who worship in Ekattam. I and that absolute truth situated in all living beings are same. Sarvata Vartamanopi, in all situations, such yogi, Mai Vartate is situated in me. That means Sri Krishna is very clearly stating over here that there is an absolute truth which is all pervading. And then I am there, one who sees both of them equally. What happens is such a person becomes situated in me. The impersonalist says that there is Bhagavan, but higher than Bhagavan is Brahman. This is the idea of impersonalist. Vaishnava's understanding or our understanding that Brahman is there, but higher than Brahman is Bhagavan. Just the opposite. Sri Krishna is very clearly stating over here, is one who sees all pervading reality, and me, one who sees both of them to be same. Now Krishna says, he has not said such person will be situated in Brahman. He said that such person will become situated in me. That is very nice. So we can see everything exists on Brahman. And when part of the Brahman covered by the sweet will of Krishna, covered by material nature modes, then it's called material world. Means it has a beginning and end. So when you connect like this, you are actually with Krishna. Literally, you are with Krishna. And you meditate or you keep on thinking like this whole day, wherever you are, in the office or at home, you can think everything how is connected. And you will become instantly Krishna conscious. It's so nice. So Prabhupada also made a one point in the purport I just said, that Mayavadi has idea that once we go beyond Bhagavan, that we go to Brahman. But Krishna never agrees that, and no Acharya agrees that. But Krishna is saying here, such person will be situated in me, means you see the Brahman and Bhagavan, they are one, because Brahman has no separate existence from Krishna. Now another slok Prabhupada put in the purport. Dik kaladi anvichanne Krishna cheto vidayacha tanmaya bhavati shipram jivo brahmani joyayat. By concentrating one's attention on the transcendental form of Krishna, who is all pervading, beyond time and space, one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna and then attains the happy state of transcendental association with him. Now, Dik Kaladi Anvichan. Anvichan means, Prabhupada did not give word-to-word meaning on the purport, but it means which is not limiting. Vichan means separate, but you cannot separate. Anvichan, which is all pervading, which is not restricted by time and space, which is beyond time and space. Then it says, Krishna Cheto Vidayacha. When one mixed in consciousness with that absolute truth, Tanmayo Bhavati Shipram. Tanmayo, one become absorbed. Maya means you are completely absorbed in that. Tanmaya. Jiva Brahmani Jojat. Jiva becomes situated in Brahman platform. So what his verse is essentially telling, when Krishna is Dik Kaladi Anvichan, he is beyond time and space. So I hope we all can get this idea Generally, we think God is transcendental beyond the nature. What is nature? Nature means time and space with the three modes. That's what it boils down to, time, space. So when you say Krishna is transcendental beyond the nature, yes, that is true. We believe. But then 1041 Krishna also says, immense is God in the nature. He is also in the nature. At this point, Mayavadi cannot understand. They don't even accept what to talk about understand. They don't even endeavor. So this is a very fascinating for us that we can be in Krishna consciousness anywhere, everywhere, anytime, provided we know how to connect that thought. So Prabhupada quotes another verse in the purport if you look at 31. Eka eva para Vishnu sarvavepi na samsaya aisharjat rupam ekam cha surjavat bahudatte. So Krishna, here the verse says Vishnu is one, Eka eva para Vishnu. So this Supreme Lord, Vishnu is one, yet he is certainly all pervading. But his inconceivable potency, in spite of his one form, he is present everywhere. How? Prabhupada gave the example, sun. Sun is in the sky, but looks like sun is everywhere. You walk miles after miles, everywhere sun is there. So some idea Prabhupada gave in the example. Eka eva paro Vishnu. There is one absolute truth. Sarva bepi na samsaya. Sarva bepi means he is everywhere. And na samsaya means please don't have a doubt. So Srila Prabhupada quote this all-pervading reality, the personal reality are one, same, both the verses are talking about the same. Aishwarjabat rupam ekam. So the Aishwarja rupa, surjabad bahuddate, date, incomprehensible potency, that all-pervading reality, Supreme Lord are one, same like the sun and sunlight are one and the same. Okay. Unless somebody has any question, we'll go to text 32. Somebody would like to read? Anyone has Bhagavad Gita? 6 chapter 32 text?
Can I read chapter 6, 32 verse?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second from 6 verse 32. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Atmano pamayam yena sarvartha samam pashyati yor arjuna sukham va yadi vah dukham sa yogi parmoh mataha. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings, both in their happiness and distress. O Arjuna. Hare Krishna.
Purport?
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. One who is Krishna consciousness, a perfect yogi, he is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God, and the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activities of the human being. Krishna is the proprietor of all lands and planets. The perfect yogi is the sincerest friend of all living entities. He knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold material miseries due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. Because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna conscious, he is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. Na tasmat kaschid me parikrita tamha. In other words,
Priyakrit.
kritiyakrit. In other words, a devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities, and in this way he is factually the friend of everyone. He is best. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his personal benefit, but he tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entities. Here is a contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who's trying his best to turn every man toward Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Nice purport, the way Prabhupada put it. So let's discuss a little more on this. Now Krishna is concluding in this section where he is talking about whom he considered highest yogi. Now the word yogi, we are also yogi. Yogi means connecting with Krishna. Anybody is connecting with the absolute. Different concept of absolute. They are all called yogi. So we are also bhakti yogi. We practice bhakti. In this verse, Atma Pamayana. Pamayan means you compare. Pamayana means by comparison. Sarvatra, everywhere. Samam, equally. Pashyati, sees. He who, Arjuna, O Arjun. Sukham, happiness. Yah, ba, or yadi, if, va, or dukkham, distress. So, such yogi, transcendentalist. Now, Prabhupada, here he put yogi means transcendentalist. Transcendentalist, one who perform bhakti may not be transcendentalist. All impersonalist, at the same time, all transcendentalists may not be devotee. As long as you understand the concept. This is very nice. Because somebody may be drinking alcohol and he may join the party with Hare Krishna and chanting, taking prasadam. And he's addicted to alcohol. So he's not a transcendental, but he's a devotee. At least began his devotion. He's chanting, taking prasadam, because this is transcendental activities. But so when we check this way, there is two things to consider: the process and the performer. So process is pure. What he's doing, it's pure. He will get purification because the process is pure. But performer may have some inclination or assumed nature that contrary to bhakti, like alcohol or whatever. So here, very interestingly, Atma Upamena, by comparing with the Atma Upama Sarvatra, all living being. So Saman Pashyanti, one who sees all living beings are similar. Jo Arjuna, Sukham ba Jodi ba Dukkham, in their happiness, in their distress. Sa Jogi Parama Mata. So he is the topmost yogi, one who sees true equality of all living beings in their happiness and distress. But how you do? By comparison to oneself. So what Srila Prabhupada expressed very beautifully, that this verse is called for comparison, compassion. One understands that when I was not spiritually conscious, one compares oneself with all living beings. When I was not doing this, I was miserable. When I was not Krishna conscious, I was miserable. Now I am Krishna conscious, I become happy. So we all can relate like that. Therefore, actually Krishna conscious is the way to be happiness, not just for me, but for all living beings. Okay, I am chanting, I feel happy. So if everybody chant, they will be happy. Not chanting, miserable. Others are not chanting, they are miserable. So you can have a feeling what they are going through. Like that. That's a very nice way Prabhupada put it. So eventually, all living beings are similar to me. This is the conclusion of this verse. So what has made me happy will make other also happy. If I eat ice cream and I feel happy, if I see somebody buying ice cream, putting in the mouth, I think they will be happy. Jadrishi, Jadrishi, as we have experienced, so we are relating to that. So even in the chapter of Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna does not consider one to be top yogi who is lost in the inner meditation, inner realization, inner fulfillment, leads to compassion with others. Oh, others are like me only. So what will make me happy will also make others happy. Therefore, let me share this with others. Let me share Krishna consciousness with others. This is called real yogi. This is what explaining in this verse. Sri Krishna is making a call for compassion, call for outreach. Yogis understand, not like a yogi sitting in a cave in Himalaya. That is not explained here as a top. No, Krishna did not say that. So we learn from that also. What is the purpose of, what purpose drive those yogis? So when Srila Prabhupada was preaching all over the world, where there are many yogis also Prabhupada met, yoga became quite popular, even till today. In America, all these big centers, you'll see there is a yoga center, yoga center. And it's very popular. And there are many yoga teachers who does not come out of Himalayas. I don't remember seeing anybody. They are local, they got training. Just like Radhanath Maharaj's place, Govardhan Eco Village, they train the yogi and they get certificate. Then they go to the city and they teach. But eventually the idea is to bring them to bhakti. So yoga become quite popular. Now, here in this verse, Srila Prabhupada giving a very interesting point. He said, when a person is thirsty, the person comes to the river and the river does not go to the person. That is the attitude of some yogi. But what was Srila Prabhupada's attitude? Look at this way. Actually, people are thirsty, but they are so much in illusion that they don't realize that they are thirsty. People need spirituality. They are hungry for spirituality. People need Sri Krishna, but they don't think they need Sri Krishna. Therefore, we go out, as Prabhupada guides us, to the people. So normally when people are sick, they go to the hospital or doctor or emergency. Hospital stuff comes out to the people. And then this yoga is like a spiritual emergency. That is why we go out with the holy name on the street. We go out to distribute books because of this. People need it, but they cannot see they need it. And they don't come to us. So we go to them. Just like a Ratha Jatra. I just got a text that they just permitted another city for Ratha Jatra. So this is very exciting. So they don't come to Krishna consciousness, then we go and invite them and distribute book and prasadam like this. So this is very nice. You can say boosting immunity, boosting humanity. You know, when we caught in a pandemic, we wisely seek to boost our immunity. I remember everybody's thinking of taking vitamin C, zinc, and what else, B12, something like that. So we need to boost something just as important, our humanity. Crisis can trigger our instinct for self-preservation, which is desirable and even essential. But that instinct can easily go too far, where it deadens us to our humanity. Here, how that might happen, we may start worrying so much about our own safety that we become paranoid of others and refuse to help them, even when we safely can. And worse still, I saw, we keep seeing sights of immense human misery on television, social media during pandemic, this COVID. We may become increasingly desensitized to others' suffering, and thereby losing the empathy that characterize our humanity. Even worse, the dark opportunities side within us may seek to profit from others' misery. So happens when people hoard vital necessity to sell an obscenely high rates. Even if we feel that we will never do something so terrible, such behavior is a natural result of the loss of one's humanity. And we all are at the risk of such a loss. So even if invisibly, incrementally, how can we protect our humanity? Or better still, boost our humanity? You may ask this question. Well, here's the answer from this verse I find. Internalizing spiritual wisdom. By internalizing our spiritual wisdom, such insight helps us see the essential commonality of all living beings. We all share similar joys and sorrows. This is what Prabhupada put in the purport. 32 verse, if you look at very deeply, the more we realize and remember that others are just like us, the more we recognize their pains are similar to what we would have suffered if we had been in their situation, just as we would want someone to help us in those situations, we feel driven to help them. So I land here with that note, that energized by this boosted sense of humanity, we won't cynically rationalize that we cannot help everyone in distress. We will resourcefully help others, be it by offering whatever things we can, even just a helping hand, a shoulder to cry on, or a gentle word of consolation or encouragement. That's all. So what's the take away from this important sloka? While we boost our immunity, let's not forget to boost our humanity too. Okay, I'll end here, 6:35. Anybody has any takeaway or?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare
I
Krishna.
like the part when you say the yogi, and then you say about the devotee, how devotee makes sure that everybody is happy, and when they're distressed, they try to take away their distress. And the yogi only goes to a secluded place, tries to elevate its own self in spiritual life, and we have to become devotees so we can actually see the pain of others, that they're in the three modes of nature, and we can work with them, and we can make them Krishna conscious then, and as well help ourselves make ourselves Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. That was wonderful. Wonderful. Any other? Otherwise, we'll close here and we'll look forward to see you next Wednesday. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpataru Vishyakipa Sindhavaivacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Anantakoti Vaishnavindaki ki jai.
One more thing, it's Shivani Mataji's birthday today. She wants your blessing that you should go to Godhead in this lifetime. And it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday. Sure. Why not? That's our goal. And it will be wonderful. Sure. I'll pray for you. And we all maybe chant together one time for her. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll see you next